Donald Trump's closing message to the American people seems to be to insult almost every single demographic that votes. We saw that hate rally at Madison Square Garden. That's just par for the course with Donald Trump. I want to show you Donald Trump attacking the Puerto Rican community, the Haitian community, others in the Latino community. Donald Trump attacking women. Donald Trump attacking cities. Attacks Detroit, attacks Philadelphia, attacks critical swing states over and over again. Let's go through this pattern of what Donald Trump is doing. I want to break it down. First, I want to show you what Geraldo Rivera posted after the hate rally at Madison Square Garden, after the Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. Geraldo Rivera, who used to be a Trump supporter or an apologist, if you will, writes, "A floating island of garbage." That's how Trump's surrogates at this event are referring to Puerto Rico, poisoning the blood of our nation. That's how Donald Trump is referring to Latinos. We have murder in our genes. Donald Trump saying that the genetics of migrants makes them murderers. That's part of Donald Trump's speech. Geraldo goes, "F these racists. Latino men of goodwill, have pride in yourselves and your ancestors. A vote for Trump is a vote against self-respect." Take a look at this. This is Gene Craig, who writes the following. "I'm glad to have cast my vote for Kamala Harris. I'm a Republican. I'm the former vice chair of the Maryland Republican Party. I'm putting my country over party and proud to be one of the millions of Republicans for Harris that are crossing over because we're not going back." Here's the former deputy chair of the Minnesota Republican Party who voted for Kamala Harris. Country over party. Michael Brodkorb writes, "As a proud Republican, I voted in Minnesota today for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. This isn't about left or right. It's about doing what is right. To my fellow Republicans, this is your time to choose too. Let's make history." Also, we learned Ronald Reagan's former political director and former deputy chair of the RNC, Frank Donatelli from Pittsburgh, supported Nikki Haley before, now endorses Vice President Kamala Harris. I thought I'd lead with that and then go into Donald Trump's consistent hate on all groups. Over this weekend, Donald Trump posted the following. "Abortion has dropped way down as an issue," he says. "States are already giving it to the people." As we said in MeidasTouch, it's like Donald Trump's trying to enrage every single woman in America. Donald Trump, in a recent podcast appearance, says, all of these women who don't support him, he goes, "They're so stupid," he says. Play this clip.
Some of these women, they're so stupid.
Then Donald Trump says that he is the father of IVF, when Donald Trump is the person who had Roe v. Wade overturned with the Supreme Court justices that he brought on the bench, taking away women's freedoms. So women today have less rights than their grandparents. But here he creepily says that he's the father of IVF. Here, play this clip.
All right, let's get this question, because I believe that's what this is about.
Oh, I want to talk about IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF, so I want to hear this question.
Yeah. Hi, President.
And then he's been saying, "I'm going to protect women. I'm your protector." He says that they need him. He says women need him for protection. Him, someone who's found liable for sexual assaulting women, someone who is on audio bragging about grabbing women without their consent in their genitals, molesting women. He who talks about going into the back rooms of beauty pageants to inspect naked girls without their consent. Here's what he says. Play the clip.
I say to people, and I'm not ashamed of that. I saw a couple of wise guys on the left saying, "Oh, who is he?" I want to protect women. I'm going to protect women, and I'm going to protect men, and I'm going to protect children. And that's my obligation to do it with the military and with law enforcement.
Now, I want to share with you this trend that's going absolutely viral on TikTok. It is young women who, for the first time, are hearing what Donald Trump said about how he treats women, where he brags about molesting women, and that's on audio. This is a trend going throughout TikTok right now. There's literally tens of thousands of videos like this. I just want to bring it to your attention. Play this clip.
I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Pull the ham.
All right, next I want to share with you Donald Trump's attack on the Haitian community, which you know, but there are many Haitian voters in swing states. Regardless, Donald Trump's attack on Haitians who are here also lawfully, here with paperwork. Donald Trump continues to lie and says that they are eating cats and dogs, and he now says, I still think it's true, even though it's 100% false. And he goes, well, what about the geese? Aren't they eating the geese? Here's the Miami Herald story. Big mistake. South Florida Haitians slammed Trump's false claim about immigrants eating pets. And here, Donald Trump is, during this interview on Fox, he's given a softball question to try to pull back that answer and almost apologize, but watch what he says. Play this clip.
Those things.
Your famous line about Springfield, Ohio, and I take your point that 15 to 20,000 legal Haitian immigrants settling in that area causes a lot of friction. But when you said, and you know it's gone viral there, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, you say you're just reporting what had been said. But why not say now, well, look, that turned out not to be true.
I don't know if it's not true. I don't know if it's true or not true. I read
eating
something.
The pets, you don't know if it's true or not true? No. It's been debunked by local officials.
What about the geese? What about the geese? What happened there? They were all missing. I don't know.
There was one guy with two geese.
Howie, I have no idea. I said something.
And of course, here's the video of J.D. Vance during his interview at CNN, where he admits that the story was a lie, that he made up the lie, and Trump made up the lie that this was happening in Springfield, Ohio, in order to get votes. Play the clip.
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it.
Now, in addition to the Haitian community, Donald Trump at his speeches, when he's referring to migrants, also who are here lawfully, Donald Trump says that he's going to invoke a 1798 law called the Alien Enemies Act, because he says he will engage in a mass deportation, where he will have the police and the military, these are his words, knock on your doors and on the basis of ancestry, throw you into camps. He says it will be bloody. Very bloody, he says, but it's what he has to do. And so if he doesn't like you, or even if you're first, second generation, if you think that, well, it's not going to happen to me, no, under the Alien Enemies Act, he's talking about you. He's talking about you. Here, play this clip.
To expedite removals of Trenday, Aragua, and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you believe that? We couldn't have an act like that now, because now everything's woke, you know? We have woke generals like Milley and Mattis. We have woke people. They don't do things like this. So we had to go back.
Okay, so then that brings us to what happened in Madison Square Garden. I had a few people call me up and they were like, is this real? Did this really happen? Because they're almost so shocked that this could really be going on. No, I mean, it's real. So here was one of these speakers before Donald Trump spoke at this event. Donald Trump didn't condemn this. Donald Trump embraced this. Picked this guy as the speaker, who says that Puerto Rico is a floating trash can, a floating garbage. That's how he refers to Puerto Rico. Play this clip.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
And there was quite a jarring split screen happening at the same time, right? You had the Trump hate rally at Madison Square Garden, where he and his surrogates were saying horrible things about the Puerto Rican community. And then you had Vice President Kamala Harris at Fred and Tony's restaurant. Just coincidental. I mean, that's where she was to talk about policy. And by the way, she didn't go there knowing that Trump's rally was going to be this anti-Puerto Rican hate rally. She went there because she's coming up with policies and speaking with communities with detailed plans about what she can do to better the community. So she's talking to small businesses. She's speaking to them about Puerto Rican Economic Task Force and opportunity zones at this restaurant. What can we do to help uplift the Puerto Rican community? That's what was happening. At the same time, Trump's rally was calling Puerto Rico a floating garbage. By the way, the entire Latino community, it's important to realize and to talk about when we talk about the Latino community that it's not one gigantic. I mean, it sounds obvious, but sometimes people lump them together. But here, it is lumped together. This is how the MAGAs treat them. And he says that Latinos, he says, love making babies, and there's no pulling out. They come inside just like they did in our country. This is what is going on at the Trump event. Play this clip.
I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
Okay, so we've gone through women. We've gone through Latinos. We spoke specifically about Puerto Ricans, Haitian communities. Trump's going one by one. Checklist of hate. A checklist of hate. So then Donald Trump goes to North Carolina. He's been lying about North Carolina. After Hurricane Helene, he claims they're not getting any aid. There's no resources. He's lying and saying that all you can get is $750 because he lies and says that FEMA's run out of money because all the money's going to migrants. 100% false. What does Donald Trump do? He goes to North Carolina, an important swing state, by the way, shuts down all of the traffic, or creates all of the traffic, shuts down the highways. So people in the disaster zone can't actually get medicine. They can't get to their family members for hours on end. So Trump can stage this publicity stunt. And the day before, he was in Pennsylvania, where he was faking working at a McDonald's and had his supporters pretend that they were customers at the McDonald's. And it was just a bizarre photo op. But then he goes to the disaster zone in North Carolina, and he has a Congressmember Edwards, a MAGA Republican, who previously had to debunk Donald Trump's lies that FEMA wasn't giving aid to his constituents, because this is the area where Congressmember Edwards is the Congressmember. He then gives Donald Trump an award for serving French fries at McDonald's. And then Donald Trump accepts this French fry stolen valor pin, if you will, at the disaster zone and makes it about himself. Play this clip.
Offered because, you know, I also own McDonald's restaurants. I know that you perfected your skills behind the counter a day or so ago, and it was my honor to present President Trump with the French fry certification pin. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
That's really nice.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here's the Winston-Salem Journal fighting misinformation. And lots of the local press have to rebut Donald Trump's lies because they're quite literally killing people. They're absolutely killing people. You know, and then finally, just I think for all Americans, one of the things that Donald Trump's doing in his events too is also just showing how, like, quite literally insane he is. So in his speeches and his rallies, in addition to the hate, he spends time, you know, I'm only going to show you a small portion of it, speaking about the penis size of people. I mean, I can't believe I even have to say this in a discussion about our politics and the leader of a political party. He gives speeches where he talks about the size of people's penises. Seriously. So here he is talking about Arnold Palmer, deceased golfer's penis size, in the middle of his speech. For no reason. Because other than Donald Trump's insane. Play the clip.
Oh, man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh, my God. That's unbelievable. I had to say it. I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here. But they used to look at Arnold as a bad, but he was really...
I'll leave you with this. President Biden, here he is on a tarmac, and he's asked about Donald Trump's behavior. President Biden says, look, this guy's got no class. Zero. None. Play the clip. And here President Biden calls Trump a loser. He goes, not just a loser politician, a loser in life, like a loser man. Play this clip. I leave you with that clip.
Donald Trump is a loser. If he's a loser as a candidate, and more importantly, in my view, and I'm just going to say it straight up, he's a loser as a man. He's a loser as a man.
Because I think it's important also, and I always like to give this message now to the men out there. Donald Trump this is loser behavior. And I think all of us, for the women in our life, and just to have some self-respect about ourselves as men, we gotta call this out. This is not acceptable behavior. Not at all. And we need to set examples. We really do. And we need to make sure we protect the rights of the women in our life. We're duty bound to do that, I think. And we have to call out Trump for all of this behavior. So I share that with you so you have all the data. You can take these videos, you can show people, friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, let them know. Knowledge is power. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.